Okay, right. Let's get this started. You won't believe the morning we're having. Seriously.
Hmm. Between the unscheduled relocation and feeling like we're running on empty.
Honestly, just tracking this lead down felt like, I don't know, climbing Everest in beach shoes.
Uh-huh.
But hey, someone listening sent us a tip.
Yes, pointed us towards what looked, initially, like a perfectly normal, run-of-the-mill music podcast.
Totally. Reviewing an album called FUX by some group, the Doza Crew, sounds completely harmless, right?
Deceptively so. On the surface,
Hmm.
just standard music criticism,
That's
almost
it.
boringly normal.
Boringly normal. That's it. And that's the kicker, isn't it? These poor podcast hosts, they have no idea, just blissfully unaware of the rabbit hole they're reviewing.
It's quite something. Their analysis seems confined to, melody, lyrics, the usual stuff, completely missing the context.
Which is exactly why we're here. Wherever here currently is, please don't ask. Forget any MWF basics today. This is purely a deep dive into Dozo Deep Dive FUX.
Mm-hmm. Our mission is to dissect their take, dissect the FUX album itself, using the rather unique sources we have.
Yeah, we're connecting dots they don't even see. And trust me, the picture. It's anything but a standard album review. Let's start with this Studienführer, Die Bizarre Welt der FUX show.
Right. A study guide to the bizarre world of the FUX show. That title alone tells you something. It gives us the supposed background for this Samstag Abend Aufnahme, this Saturday evening recording.
Which we're guessing is the source material for the album, right? The Samstag Abend Aufnahme.
It seems highly likely. The Studienführer describes it as a kind of tribute performance for the Doza crew.
Maybe an anniversary. Or like a farewell show on this FUX show program.
That's the suggestion. But here's where it gets immediately strange.
Oh, I bet. Go on.
This FUX show, supposedly a big German Saturday night TV hit, right? Ran from 68 to 82. 14 years.
Okay, sounds plausible.
Except no one remembers it. No TV production folks from that era recall it. Recordings, almost non-existent.
Wait, what? A 14-year primetime show? Just poof,
Yeah.
vanished from memory.
Exactly. That's not just odd. That's fundamentally wrong. It screams that this whole setting isn't what it appears to be.
Yeah, screams it pretty loud. So, if it wasn't a real TV show, what was this Samstag Abend Aufnahme?
Well, according to the guide, this specific recording, possibly the final episode, had some, let's say, unusual features.
Oh, I'm ready. Hit me.
Okay, first, comedians dressed as aliens.
Aliens, right. Okay, well, maybe avant-garde comedy, fringe stuff.
Perhaps. But then, element two, the studio DJ is an octopus.
I'm sorry, did you say an octopus? Like tentacles and all?
That's the description. Credited on tracks like Intermezzo and DJ Skit. Apparently even showed up at the after party in a place called Neon Grau.
An octopus DJ at the Neon Grau after party. Okay, my brain is starting to fizz a little. Is that just pure weirdness for shock value?
Well, here's another layer.
Mm-hmm.
The Studienführer notes some people felt a strange familiarity towards this octopus DJ, like they'd encountered it or something like it before.
Familiarity. With an octopus DJ, how does that work? Unless it's symbolic of something else we keep seeing.
That's the question, isn't it? Is it random absurdity, or does it connect to something deeper in this whole mythology?
And there was a third element, you said?
Indeed. The Super Spastaffel, the SSS.
It's a super fun squadron. Sounds cheerful.
The name is misleading. This is where it turns darker. Towards the end of the show, the host dramatically reveals he's an agent for the SSS.
The host of the show.
Yes. And then, studio lockdown. Attendees rounded up into groups, subjected to incredibly fast trials right there.
On a Saturday night TV show, what started as a tribute concert ends in mass arrests orchestrated by the host.
It appears so. It's a jarring shift from surreal entertainment to something much more sinister, authoritarian even.
Absolutely. And, okay, let's circle back slightly. There's this figure, Mikkel. The Studienführer mentions him.
Yes, Mikkel, connected to the Doza crew, appears frequently on FUX album. Tracks like Halao, Tudo Funk, Neon Gel, quite a few.
The guide says he's known for some online conflict, a street with someone called the Drachenlord.
That's mentioned as his primary claim to fame outside this context, yes. Within the FUX context, he's described as a frequent musical collaborator with the Doza crew. Energetic performances, sometimes unsettling.
So, more than just a guest musician, he seems pretty integral to this whole FUX thing.
His extensive presence suggests a close creative tie, at least for this project, and his other associations, like the Drachenlord stuff, just add to the overall strange, interconnected vibe.
Right. Okay, back to the share itself falling apart. There was that weird interruption.
Yes. The broadcast has suddenly stopped. apparently in solidarity with someone named Mirko and others.
A moment of protest.
It seems like it. But almost immediately, there's a command for everyone to return. Just like that. No discussion, just back to your places.
Wow. So any attempt at stepping out of line is just instantly quashed. That speaks volumes about control, doesn't it?
It reinforces that oppressive undercurrent. Any deviation is immediately corrected. The power dynamic is stark.
And then there was the guest band performance, some women's krautrock group.
Yes, and the description is chaotic. Their introduction gets cut off mid-sentence.
Okay.
Then it apparently slides into generic pop music, but with jarring sound breaks, glitches.
Uh-huh.
Then a really dark verse surfaces, then more breaks. And finally, the singer tries to shout some kind of warning to the audience.
Oh, warning. About what?
We don't know. She's cut off. Silenced before she can finish. The whole performance sounds like it's mirroring the show's breakdown.
Like the reality, whatever it is literally glitching, and the singer knew something was wrong. That's chilling.
It certainly adds to the mounting sense of dread and manufactured reality falling apart.
Even the after party sounds like a mess. At this Nyong'o place, Kai Rem was there.
Apparently so. And true to form, based on what we know.
Let me guess. Drinking, causing trouble.
Excessive drinking, harassing other guests, eventually getting thrown out. Seems some things are constant, even in this bizarre setting.
Classic Kai Rem. But still, it just piles onto the feeling that this whole event was teetering on the edge of chaos anyway.
Precisely. It underscores that even the supposed fun parts were unstable and unpredictable.
But the ending, that's the real mind-bender. The host as an SSS agent, the lockdown, dividing people up.
Into groups of 5, yes. Then rapid interrogations, swift sentencing, and then they're just taken away.
Taken away where? What happens to them? And what about the Doza crew themselves?
The Studienführer states their fate is unknown. Both the attendees and the band. It just ends there, with this mass disappearance.
What kind of album launch involves the band vanishing after a performance orchestrated by alien comedians and an octopus DJ ending in SSS arrests? It's beyond belief.
It transforms the entire event retroactively. What seemed like bizarre entertainment becomes a horrifying trap, a performance culminating in dystopian control.
Okay, so the Studienführer doesn't just describe this madness. It asks questions, right? Like essay prompts.
Yes, almost like it's challenging the reader to make sense of it all. And they're quite pointed.
Like the first one, about the surreal stuff, the aliens, the octopus. It asks what function they serve.
Exactly. It's not just random weirdness. How does this extreme absurdity contribute to the narrative's impact? What atmosphere does it create?
It creates total disorientation, I'd say, a feeling that normal rules are completely suspended. Anything can happen.
A useful state to induce if you plan on, say, mass arrests later. It also prompts thinking about the characters.
The Doza crew, Mikkel, the octopus DJ, the host-turned-agent, are they archetypes? Or just incredibly strange individuals?
Thinking archetypally could be revealing. The hostagen as the two faces of authority, the octopus as hidden manipulation. What roles do they really play?
And then the big one, interpreting the SSS intervention. The guide hints at social or political commentary.
It's hard to avoid that reading, isn't it? A celebration of art turning instantly into state control, censorship, disappearance.
Yeah, it feels like a commentary on, well, on how easily entertainment can mask or even facilitate oppression. The swiftness of the justice is terrifying.
Very much so. Unchecked power, arbitrary judgment, it resonates with certain anxieties.
The guide also mentioned comparing the music, the Doza crew versus the guests.
Yes, suggesting the different styles, and particularly the breakdown of the guest band's performance, might reflect the show's overall chaos.
That makes sense. The glitching music mirrors the glitching reality, a sonic metaphor for things falling apart.
It's a plausible interpretation.
And finally, this idea of the whole thing being a meta-narrative about TV or entertainment itself.
That's a fascinating angle, using the show's forgotten history and its abrupt, violent end as evidence.
Right, like the show itself is a comment on how media can be manipulative, ephemeral, easily erased or distorted. Its own vanishing act is part of the message.
It adds another complex layer, the unreliability of the record, the potential for hidden meanings in what we consume as simple entertainment.
Okay, now, the elephant in the room, or maybe the octopus in the studio. The MWF compendium, how does it connect? The instruction was clear, no basics, just direct links to FUX.
And the most obvious, unavoidable link is the SSS, the Superspaßstaffel.
Which also appears in the compendium, but maybe with a slightly different name there.
Yes, the MWF compendium mentions the Solar Soldatenstaffel, also abbreviated SSS. The context there is different, focusing on alleged advanced weaponry, like solar particle cannons.
Solar particle cannons, right. But it's the same SS acronym, the same entity, presumably.
It seems undeniable. So when we see the SSS acting as the enforcers, the arrestors, the agents of control within the FUX show's narrative.
It connects directly back. They're not just random plot devices in the FUX story. They're part of this larger, established, frankly terrifying framework from the MWF universe.
Precisely. It anchors the seemingly fictional, bizarre events of the Samstag Abend Aufnahmen into that wider, stranger reality we've been mapping. It gives the SSS intervention in the FUX show a specific resonance.
It lends it weight. They're not just costume goons. They're the SSS with all the implied background and menace that carries.
It serves as that concrete bridge between the specific oddity of FUX and the broader enigma.
Okay, so let's try and wrap our heads around this again. Forgotten TV show, bizarre anniversary final episode, alien comics, octopus DJ.
Disruptive Kyrem cameo, a krautrock band's performance disintegrating into a silenced warning.
Culminating in the host revealing he's SSS, locking everything down and arresting everyone. Mass disappearance, fate unknown.
It leaves so much unresolved. The Dozer crew's actual identity and role, Mikkel's purpose, the octopus's meaning, the SSS's ultimate goal, and what happened to everyone.
The Studienführer gives us ways to think about the surrealism, the politics maybe, and the compendium confirms the SSS, part of that bigger picture.
It paints a picture of entertainment twisted into a mechanism of control and disappearance using extreme absurdity as cover.
So after diving into all that, here's the thought that's going to sit with me, probably keep us both up tonight in our current digs. When something presented as fun, as entertainment Saturday night TV, a concert can just flip instantly into mass arrests, disappearances, run by alien clowns and an octopus. What does that say? About entertainment, about power, about how thin that line is between performance and something else.
That's the core question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It forces a look at manipulation within spectacle, the fragility of freedom when faced with authority, even absurd authority. The FUX show might be a grotesque parody, but it's reflecting something unsettlingly real about control.
And, yeah. As for us, we're managing, let's put it that way. Still operational, obviously, but navigating some, let's call them, environmental factors.
The work continues, regardless.
It does. And this FUX deep dive, it feels important. Like another piece just clicked into place in this huge, weird puzzle. And I have a nasty feeling this Samstag Abend Aufnahmen might be even more significant than we realize yet. We'll keep digging wherever we are.